And we're live. So, good day, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are in the world. I'm PL Stewart. It's around 10 in the morning here in Canada, in this North Barrie area. Welcome back to Elemental Interviews. I have a absolutely fantastic guest with me today. A wonderful gentleman. He is a game creator, he's an author, he does so many things in this space. I just want you to get the chance to know this outstanding individual and all things he does. So, welcome today, the awesome Joe Arena. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing excellent. As I like to say, I'm not doing too bad for an old grandpa.
You don't look it, my friend. You don't look it. Well, I want the audience to get to know you through you. So please, can you let us know a bit about what you do? We first met at London, Ontario, and not be confused with London, England, folks. London, Ontario Comic Con.
Yeah.
And Joe was such an amazing guy, so warm and welcoming. Introduced himself, and we started, talking, exchanging, a bit of stories about how we both got into the whole writing stuff. And so, but Joe, please tell us, what do you do?
Well, basically, I'm a Canadian grassroots. I like to say grassroots level because I don't compare myself to anybody who does the quality of work that you do. Okay, it's just isn't that good. I do what I can, but I'm a grassroots level Canadian author who writes sci-fi, fantasy, adventure stories. Has done it since I was a wee lad, and inventing games since that time. And so I can either do this sort of chronologically and say this is what I do and this is what this is where I started and where I went. It's up to you if you'd like.
Please do. Yeah, tell us your origins.
Okay. Well, when I was a kid, I rolled a pair of dice on a popular game board. One landed on top of the other almost perfectly. And in my kid's mind, because I wasn't even in school yet, my mind said, "Oh, all around. Oh, 3D dominoes." Right? And I'm thinking, 3D dominoes. Okay, so I started doing stuff like this,
Oh, yeah.
even on the ends. So now you can play the piece lying down, and you can play the piece on its end and play pieces beside it.
Wow.
Right? So I started doing that, and at that point, I got in. It was kind of crazy into three-dimensional shapes. So I was doing like cubes and rectangles and pyramids. Right? I even have one where the triangular pyramids all the way around. Right? Top, bottom, sides. If you put three together and invert, you create the next level. And you can do the same with the dominoes games, by the way, and the lexicon. So I actually coined those phrases many years ago. And I began making games. And I used to have a little story circle with the neighborhood kids. And I was always drawing and writing and putting my little tiny little sentences and paragraphs down there to remind me this is what I want to talk about. So it wasn't really writing. It was like, okay, this is my point form. And then I'm going to take it off the top of my head and tell my stories. So I would sit around a semicircle driveway, and these kids would gather my age, twice, three times, four times my age. Some of them were actually teenagers. And I would spin off these yarns about sci-fi, fantasy adventures, how things are going to be great. The Apollo missions are going to be coming. It's going to be so exciting. We're going to be living out in space. We won't have to put up with this or that. It's going to be all different, right? And then, of course, the reality was that everything got put back for 50 years, and now they're only just starting again. But anyway, that's beside the point. I had a lot of fun, right? And what I found was, as I told these stories, all these kids are going like they're like this. I'm thinking, hey, I got something here. They're hanging on every word. So, and my upbringing was different. I was the first generation of the kids born from Europe here, and so when my grandfather in '57 decided to come over here, they bought an old convent, okay, from the Catholic Church. And so this convent was like a three-story thing. It had those big cone top building, like things around them, right? And so it was all broken down and falling apart. And so the church figured, we'll sell it to them. We'll get a good price. They'll get it for a song. But they forget Europeans, Italians, particularly Sicilians, we're carpenters, masons, electricians, you name it, plumber. We do all that stuff. So I came onto the scene shortly after that. And I remember growing up there for the first part of my childhood and thinking, I live in a castle. Like I'm a little guy, right? So when you're a little guy, everything looks even bigger. But this was actually a huge place. It was old, broken down. The seven nuns that lived there could no longer maintain it, and the church didn't want to keep paying for it, so they sold it. And it had like this huge yard out in the back, right? So they had our Italians love fruit trees and their gardens, right? They had to have a kennel for the dogs for hunting, when they went, and uncles and my dad went hunting and all that stuff. So it was a very different upbringing. And then I would tell my stories to the neighborhood kids, and I would make games. And I was known by my other relatives, cousins, and so on, to say, "Yeah, there's Joe, always paper and pencils, and it's just there he goes again." It's like I wasn't your typical, not better. Don't get me wrong. I was different, right? My thing was very different than most other people's things, right? Just the way it worked out because I was kind of weird, but that's okay. So, other than that, I went on from there in the 70s. I did that version that I'm just going to see if I can pan the camera over
Oh yeah.
so you can see
Oh
the.
yeah.
Oh, you know what? Let me get Cindy. Could you maybe grab that and show a close up here of some of these pieces? You'll need to bring it up. I'll tell you, tip it down at least so I can take a look and see the pieces there, and see how
Yeah.
there's a transparent grid top, plexiglass, a mirror on the bottom,
Stunning.
pillar,
Yeah.
and then the lexicon pieces and dominoes pieces and so forth that you can play. So hopefully that will show up there. Come back around this way now, honey, if you could. And so that's kind of what I did. And this is only the one they did in the 70s, the small one. I have a much larger one that's about maybe 4 times bigger, that has big wooden special box that goes with it, inlaid with felt, and the pieces are done in gold. Well, it's showing it up on the set now, which is great. And it had drawers on the sides of this big unit where you pull out pieces. And that one was done to be similar to those expensive chess sets. There was a period where people, thousands of dollars for chess sets, right? Some of them 10, 12, whatever. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I could try to tap into that. So I took my 3D dominoes game, which I invented way back in the 60s, okay, as a kid. And I said, I'm going to see what I can do now that I had that newest one that you just saw out back in the 70s. And I kept doing different versions, and I had the cardboard cutout versions. And how I came up actually with the 3D board for the game, I thought, okay, I like the 3D pieces, but I got to come up with something three-dimensional board play. So I used to take, you remember the old days you had hat boxes, old boot boxes?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I would take, because with 7 families living in one old convent, there's lots of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it was 7 families that moved in there, right? You got grandpa, grandma, uncles and aunts, my parents, us. So I grabbed the box and I said, oh, how can I do it? Well, I cut out the rectangular sides and I cut out the square sides, leaving enough of a section as supports. Then I put a mirror in the bottom. Then I took a piece of pane glass, made my 3D pieces, and I played 3-dimensionally all the way around. North, south, east, west, up, down, same all the way around. Total 3D play. So that's how my mind worked as a wee kid. But in the 2000s, I had met another fellow who was really gifted at woodwork. He did this thing with inlaid gold and wood, stone pieces he carved and did all the stuff on them. That I have as well. So that I've had that on television before on Rogers, and I've been in the past with this other version on, I think, Channel 10 London in the past and other shows. So that's my beginnings. Okay. And then up in around 2011, I did that big deluxe one because I was going to tap into that market, but the cost per unit was like $2,500. I had no, if I was going to start producing them, unless I was going to do massive numbers, which I couldn't afford to do. Beyond that, I started doing my books. Oh, I know what I forgot. I'm just going to reach over, or Cindy, if you can hand me that book. In the pre-internet era, before we get to the modern time, I had a paperback out, and then I had this particular hardcover out.
Oh wow!
Now this hardcover was this is batch number 1, by the way, out of the batch. I kept number 1.
Wow!
But this particular hardcover was actually done and sold out in a 2,000 copy paperback run, and then we did of course we did the whole additional run of the limited 126 copies. We were going to do 100, but by the time we finished doing them and hand bound each book myself,
hand bound.
So it was like 126 copies, right? And I had to match it up and do it nice as best I could. I mean, I'm I do what I can. So we sold it. Now, what's interesting about this is on the cover at the corner, and I probably should have shown you at the time. So I'm going to get Cindy sorry on my fault. Two, see if you can see the price on there.
Oh,
$182.95.
wow.
And we actually sold that at that price. And the National Library Archives acquired 2 copies and sent me a check.
Wow. So that's in the National Library Archives.
Yeah, for the cover price. So yeah. So in addition to, and that's pre-internet stuff. And I look back at it now, I'm thinking, I don't know what the big deal was about it, but they liked it. That's good enough for me. They bought it. I'm happy. So now what I'm trying to do is decide what to do with my new books. Oh, I'm sorry. What's that, hon? You can join. Oh yes, it was a limited edition. She says the reason it was so expensive, the paperback started at $2.95, and by the time it finished selling, it was $32.95.
Whoa.
Right, and the paperback is no thicker than that one was. It was just 156 pages.
Wow.
So it was a very different approach, and it's pre-internet, and it was done at a time when things were harder to do because you didn't have this. Right? I mean, I actually physically had to go to this television station and that television station and go here and go there. I had to do it the Hoofing way, and I, try to set up accounts here with this store and that store. It was a very different time, right? So now, what I'm trying to do with my stuff is I'm trying to get the books out. I'm trying to get people to send their thoughts in on what they think of which covers I should go for, that sort of thing. I've got a sample here. You've seen the brown jackets, right?
Yes.
Right. I think they look cool, and I'm going from that to and from the yellow. And I've thought here's a standard cover, which I thought I would do. That's basically says The Sword Masters of Azure, The Next Generation of Babylon by Joseph Arena. But then at the bottom it says Multiverse Dystopian Chronicles, Coming of Age Scenarios, Alternate Reality Intrigue. Those are my sort of keywords for people to eventually look for the book. And then at the bottom, just that it's a progressive novel series saga of sci-fi, fantasy, adventure, mystery, chapter books. And the reason I'm doing it that way, to get this effect in the end with the artwork, which looks, you kind of, I don't know how well that will show up there. I hope it will.
Yeah, it does. It's stunning.
So I do the artwork myself. I don't use AI. You were talking a while back, if you remember, you were asking me about if I was going to get those other 17. Well, I showed you that big stack of 30, whatever. So yeah, those are done. Now what I'm doing is redoing everything. Those are my betas.
Oh.
See, I'm not afraid to put my stuff out, ugly warts and all. This is my concept and my idea. These are my thoughts. I'm going to do blah, blah, blah. Check it out. Is there anything there that you like? I want to know what people are thinking and saying. And then I refine it. And then you get 2 little old people, me and speak to myself. You get a little old guy like me and a gorgeous gal like my wife come in here, deciding whether we want to strangle each other or kiss each other while we're doing this editing. Right? So it's like, but that's what I've been doing. And now I actually, you were asking about the 17. I was just going through reviewing books 80 to 85.
Wow.
And the initial books will run from 1 when I redo this with that new cover. Or if they tell me, the public says, hey, I like the yellow better than the brown, just email me in at my, where is it? I always forget what it is. Okay, so just email me in at my number, right? You can call me or you can email at unyt.ja@gmail.com. And the reason I want people to do this, say, I like I like it in the brown, or I like it in the yellow, or maybe they want to suggest, why don't you try blue? Or maybe you want to go green or red. Like, that's fine. I want to know. And then that will be the final, whichever one gets the biggest votes when they email in, then we'll do that. And then we'll organize things like doing pre-launches and.
Wow.
Okay. No, is that, Sydney didn't think it showed up well? Did that show up okay?
It showed up well. So what I'm going to do is I will go back after we record and I will add your Gmail to the links in the video so people have it. So thank you for that. Yeah, I'll make sure I add that.
Yeah, you can put in the cell number too. People can call me. I also have a new website that someone's tried to set up for me, and I'm still looking for someone that has enough time to help me with that a bit more. But the website is talltoldtales.com. So if you type in Tall Told Tales, which is also on there, I think on that bookmark, right? So, but in addition to that, I mean, some of the other games, right? I did a limited run of the Score 44 games. There's a number of different games you can play, right? So I did that, and eventually went to uh, different versions of color and the black and white ebony edition of the game. And I want to show you samples of the cards. The games, by the way, are based on the release I did in 91 from a game I created decades before. But in 91, I put out the game. So here's an idea of what we're talking about. And eventually we thought, you know what? These ones are all hand cut. Like this is hand cut. This is not
Wow.
like scissors. Me sitting there endlessly. You know what? The one thing about the lockdown, the only thing that was good about it, I had a lot of time.
Yeah.
I had a lot of time, right? So this again, all sort of hand cut. And so that's kind of the game, and it's the only game on the market that I know of that allows 2 to 24 players. So you can have great grandpa and grandma and great grandkids all sitting at 2 or 3 tables, and the game is based on the decks. Well, the deck is this thick, right? It's this thick. I don't know if I'm showing it properly. Oh, there it is. Okay. So that's the thickness of the deck. Now at the top it says, "New games to rule them all. New fun times a gathering call. New adaptable games. Sorry, by night or day, capture all in awesome play." And then this is the Ebony Ivory edition. And the reason we went to the Ebony Ivory edition of this game is we sell a $65 hand-cut, handcrafted game that takes me roughly 55, 60 hours to make. So there's not a lot of money made on that. It's a love thing, right?
Wow.
You want to enjoy this game, I'll make it. As long as you want it, I'll get it to you. Okay, one way at the shows, because we meet at Comic-Cons, right? I'm doing Chatham, CK Expo in end of April. And then I'm back at London in September, end of September. I don't have the exact dates in my head, but there's too much in my head. Some stuff gets pushed out. So I don't have the dates, but people will check that out. And there's also scuttlebutt that there may eventually be a Woodstock Comic Con. So I'm hoping. Now back to what was that? Huh? Oh, about the game. Yeah. So basically the black and white version, she's right. I get distracted very easily. So what we did is we went to a black and white version of those color cards. And the reason that works is the suit is the shield. So you're either a dragon or a Pegasus unicorn, or you're a griffin or whatever, right? Or a phoenix. So you don't need color. So we ended up selling the color ones for 60. Those that want color, sure, $65. Like I say, it takes me a long time. Or the black and whites for 35. Now the black and white ones are machine cut, so they're straight edged as opposed to cut curves, right? But you're saving $30, and you're getting the same game. It's just not in color, right? And you can still play up to 24 players. And the nice thing about it is the thickness of that deck. The quicker you get through the deck, the faster the game's over. So with 2 or 3 or 4 people, it's 15 minutes, maybe 20. With half a dozen or more, the game's done in like 10 minutes. Because the deck disappears. You count up your points. Has anyone got enough points? No, one more round, and then you're done. It's not a hard game, right? And it's adaptable to any other game. So any other card game that is in existence in a traditional deck, since the size of this 144 card deck, okay, is more than a double deck of cards, you can play any card game that's out there and adapt it to this game. Not only that, you can adapt it to the kind of games people play that are like, say, a Pokemon or something, because you can assign values to each card. So I know, insane. I know, I'm insane. So what else would you like to know? That's as far as on now. Oh, I'm trying to get my books, by the way, out on. I wanted to talk. Remember, if I talked about the cooperative?
Yeah.
Remember that? So this is the thing that they sent me, and apparently the final name is the Great Creative Canadian Cooperative. Now they're based out in BC, but the representative of Ontario is just over in Norwich.
Oh.
Yeah, her name is Dawn. But I did buy some shares into the company, and what they're starting out with is, so being upfront, I did buy a couple of shares, but all that gives me is the right as an author, artist, or whatever, product creator to put my product on their website, right? So basically, I have to fill out and upload, which I'm still trying to get people to help me figure out how to do that, because I need to get my stuff up digitally. I need to get I need to get the audio stuff done, right? and I need to get the print books done. And you and I know that the average author, when they go through these different sites, they're only making two, maybe $3 off a book, right? So what I'm thinking is for the digital book, a toonie or two.
Ah,
My slogan: you can download it for a toonie or two. That's just there's no cost in making it. They just host it and they'll take some of it, which is fine. And then for the print, I'm thinking if they want to get stuff directly from me uh, at events, that's fine. But I'm not equipped to ship out, so I got to get stuff online.
oh, yeah.
And so I'm at that stage, but I need the expertise, the help. I have the computer here in front of me, and the only reason I can barely use it is because I took years of typing, right, on manual typewriters, so I know how to hit the keys. Okay, but I'm still learning all the little gadgets and whatnot, and what does whatever. And I found that I could even do the whole listening to my book by hitting the review button. So there's a review button, and then a voice comes on my computer and just reads the whole thing out. Oh, that's okay. So that's fine. I don't think I can actually use that to put anything out. I have to read it myself, which I wouldn't mind doing with my face for radio. So, I have a voice maybe that will work, but a face for radio, you know. But other than that, what have you been up to, my friend?
Oh, listen, this is about you. So, I want to spend this
Okay.
entire, the next 10 minutes or so talking about you. So, Joe, like, I'm just, I mean, we've talked a few times because I just continue to be astounded at the level of creativity and talent that you have. And just that, like you have a piece of history in National Library Archives, like the things you've done are iconic. Like, how do you feel looking back now over your career? You've been doing this since you were little, basically, right? You've been inventing things, creating things. How do you look back now on your career and where you are and what you've done? And you have this. I'm not sure what part of the house is. That's your basement or part of your living room, but you have this
This is
entire.
actually my living room. The library is covered up with all these things I put up, unfortunately, but there's a good sized library there and then whatnot. But yes, I'm in the living room.
Yeah, like how do you feel about? You can look around your house and see the accumulation of your life's work, like just some absolutely incredible stuff. Like, how do you feel?
I feel extremely privileged to have had the opportunity. Uh, I haven't been able to become what the world would call "quote unquote" successful because they tend to measure that in how much money they're making. Um, I've given away a lot of books. I've sold a lot of books. I've done a lot of what I do as a passion. And if I didn't, I'd go stir crazy. It's like when we were locked down, right? That's how I started this again and picked it up. I told my wife, honey, I'm going, they just locked us down again. I'm dusting off the old stuff and I'm going to start the new stuff because you mentioned iconic. That reminds me of how this series started off originally with the Alpha Omega series, which included the Legendary and the Brave, and then went on to the Sword Masters of Azure original short stories, which were more about me, and then later, and then the kids, and then I went on to Icons and Mists, and I had that sent through the government, got my copyright on that. And Icons and Mists really is in the same universe. It's the same world. It's on the planet of Azure, which where my story takes place. Um, and it's that same universe where you've got the dystopian future age, right? You've got kids who in another alternate universe. It starts off in another universe with an alternate Earth, and then it starts off from there, where in this future 2345 era, where there's an intergalactic empire from Earth, and Earth has become a very authoritarian, very bleak place. Anyway, so I write and try to do what the authors, and I list them in the beginning of my books. You may have noticed I'll list guys like Dickens and Capra for his work with It's a Wonderful Life, and I'll list C.S. Lewis for the Chronicles of Narnia, and I'll list J.R. Tolkien for the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings, and I think I've got George Lucas for Star Wars, and I think I also put in Gene Roddenberry. Now, Gene Roddenberry is a great contact. I remember doing conventions way back when, and I used to set up actually side by side with Barrett Roddenberry,
Yeah,
Gene's wife.
right. His wife, yeah.
And she would set up with her Lincoln Enterprises program. And she had all this old nostalgia right off the shows, like all this. Had stuff for people to buy. And I'm going, oh, being a fan of Star Trek, right? So we hit it off and we talked and we got to be friends. And she actually bought a copy
Wow. Nigel Barrett. Wow.
some of my material. And then I gave her a copy of my game as well. And she was so kind. Let's see if I can find it. Well, sorry. I have
Wow.
letters from different people, like Madge Roddenberry, who sent me a letter, said, thank you. I got together with family and friends. We had a blast playing Score 44. Right?
Wow.
Right? And love and peace, Madge Barrett Roddenberry.
Yeah.
So she had that in there. And I've been encouraged by a lot of people like you. Right? I mean, we talk. You've been an inspiration. I'm looking at you. Think I'm doing a lot. I look at your books and I'm thinking, like, my goodness, this is like, wow. And you've got 5 out now, and 2 more on the way. Right? That's amazing. And I think of people who've inspired me in the past, like Don Herring. I don't know if you remember Don Herring used to play the character Charlie Farquharson. Went to the school one time, talked to us as kids, and encouraged us to get on with stuff. Pierre Burton was another one. John Flint Roy. You know John Flint Roy? Okay, I got invited to the Chatham Sci-Fi Science Fiction Association at their library years ago as a guest to speak, and so did he. And that's where we met. And I met John and his wife Evelyn at the time. He was older than I am now, and I was a young buck at the time. But he lived in Ridgetown. And so he invited us over. And I went there, and I was just agog at his collection because John was a boyhood friend to Edgar Rice Burroughs.
Yes.
Right. So I'm thinking, okay, so now I've probably gone off track. You put me back because I'm not even sure where I went. I get going and my mind just spins off.
No, but this is exactly what I was looking for. I mean, I asked you how you felt about your career, and it's just, I mean, I look at you, I look up to you as someone who is iconic, right? In terms of you were a trailblazer, paving the way for people like myself to self-publish and do different things. And, to hear you and the kind of people and the kind of talent that you've been exposed to, and people you've known, iconic people, you yourself being on camera, think of like, I think like starting like you were sitting next to Christine Chappell, right? at conventions. Like, I mean, for me, like, yeah, I just wanted to hear your story and hear how you've helped trailblaze and pave the way for people like myself to be able to do this sort of stuff, whether it's people publishing comic books or creating games or creating YouTube content or self-publishing novels and fantasy and sci-fi. Like you're part of the reasons why I can do what I do today. Right.
You're very kind. That's the nicest way I've heard you're a dinosaur ever put. But truly, I mean, I look to people. You see, you inspire me, and you and other authors that are out there today, because you have gifts and abilities I don't have when it comes to conveying with technology the work. Right? I am literally your write it down or just sit down and type it out. And I don't know much about using the technology of the internet or whatever, which is why I'm always telling people like yourself and others, hey, if there's something you can show me, show me. I want to learn. When I started doing the most recent stuff, I said, I got a lot to learn and I want to learn it. Is there someone out there who'll show me, right? I think that we're obligated as creative individuals, you and I and others, to do our best and do our due diligence to help people, not because those people are going to give you a paycheck, but they're going to give you something worth far more than money, right? Which is friendship, a reward. Hey, I contributed into this individual and I helped that individual or all these individuals rise. We're all boats on the lake, right?
Yeah.
If there's a drought, everyone wants to, oh no, you got to give me this or do that, or wants to withhold helping people. That's the withholding of the river streams into the lake, and the lake goes down. But if everyone helps one another, the lake water goes up and all the boats go up with it. Right. So,
and again, I want to thank you for all you do for that. I'm not technologically savvy either. We have our kids and stuff doing all kinds of things for us but this is my little contribution, trying to give back, shine a light on amazing creatives such as you who deserve the recognition and deserve more people to know about you and what you do. This is my little, way of trying
Well,
to.
thank you, Paul. Thank you so much because I'm privileged. I'm privileged to be on your show. I'm thinking I've been on a lot of shows lately over the last few years. Again, like I used to be when I was running around to TV stations, but I would call and book something. I got people asking me now, and I'm thinking, this is what I mean. I feel extremely privileged and unqualified, which is why I'm always saying, "Can you
No.
show me this?" Because I don't know how to do this, right? Like this step, this step. Have you ever read some of these things for uploading? Have you uploaded a number of things? Have you ever seen how difficult some of those steps are?
Again,
Yeah.
that's why we get people to help, like my kids, like they help, they do a lot of that stuff, right? Like, and my wife does a lot of stuff for behind the scenes to make me able to do the small things that I can do. And I think, and obviously your wife is so amazing, so supportive. She's at every
I
convention I've
couldn't
seen
do
you at.
this, Cindy. I couldn't do this. Like I said, we go through that whole love-hate thing. Like you want to strangle the person 1 minute, right? Because half of stuff you've done is going in the waste bin, and the other thing is you laugh, right? And it's like okay, because you come across the part and you go, oh, it's just right. Like it's just right. This should hit them like it makes us laugh, or how it hits us. We're hoping, right?
Yeah, and that's another reason why you're an inspiration to me and someone I look up to because of the lovely relationship with your wife, the fact that you're partners in this and in everything you do, obviously, and that's an inspiration for Deb and I, to see to see you doing it. So, but yeah, no, I am just very honored and humbled, Joe, to have the opportunity to have you on. As we're winding down, I do want to now. I will add the tall
Yep.
tales to video after. I'll add your phone number and your
The
email
video.
into the video. Do you have any other social media platforms that you want to advertise? Are you on Instagram or Facebook or anything like that you
Well,
want?
if you punch in my name for Facebook and YouTube, all kinds of stuff pops up. But I actually haven't done anything. Like I don't have my own show. I'd like to learn how to do that. Maybe someday you can help me with some of that too. But I'd love to have you guys over sometime for a visit. Hey, I'm Italian. Hospitality thing. That's what we do, right? So you come on over. We have some coffee or cake, or whatever. We visit, we chat, and have a little fun. Talk about your latest project and my latest project to see what we can do. Maybe we can connect. Maybe we can work one thing out this way or that way. I'd love it.
So, Joe, I'm so honored. That would be an honor. And I think the fact that you're such a great person just shines through. And I just hope people run out. And again, Joe has been so generous. I can't show you. I can't even show you a fifth of the things that he's provided for me. But I mean, I treasure these, and they have a place of honor in my bookshelf. Again, I'm just showing you a few. Like I literally have a stack like this thick of books.
Probably close to the stack that I showed
Joe,
earlier.
and I'm
Yeah.
just showing you some of the things. Oh, sorry, did I show the game? Did I show the game stuff? Like just some of the game stuff
Yeah.
that he's given me. It's really humbling, and I just want to thank you for all you do and all you have done for us creatives in the space. And it really makes me feel good to be able to feature you a little bit, and everybody who's going to watch this that will hopefully check out more of your work, go to your website, and when they see you at cons, that they'll come and stop by your booth. And
Are you going to be there again? Usually we're not far from each other.
yeah, we're hoping so. It's been a crazy year. We're hoping to be back this year. We have a few other things we're doing as well, so we're hoping back. But London, and they've been so amazing. London Comic Con is just but it's part of it's because we live so far away, right? So
Yeah.
like we're 4 hours away. So
Oh, I didn't know you were that far away from London. No.
yeah. We used to live in London. It's a beautiful city, beautiful city. Love London. But yeah, now we're an hour north of Barrie. So
You moved.
yeah,
Weren't
we're
you mentioned earlier?
up in so just an hour north of Barrie near Cottage Country, like across
Oh,
from
okay.
the Sag and all that, right? So, but we lived there. We lived in Chatham, we lived in Windsor, we lived all over. So, but London Comic Con, one of the reasons because of my people like you, that always has a special place in our hearts. So, but
I was just say, just if I may, we no longer have a bookstore in Woodstock, which is kind of sad. right? We haven't had one since I think Merrifield's basically closed down years ago.
Hmm.
But the books are available at Nerds. So I just wanted to say, like, they're available at Nerds Gaming. So they have both my games and the books there for people to check out. They are in some libraries here and there. But if you need to get anyone, I'm just saying, wants to get one of my books, they should just contact me for now. And then once I get these things figured out on streaming and all that, and on demand, once I can get that done and figured out, they'll be able to order direct as well. But I'm always encouraging people, come and see me. Come and see me at wherever I'm going to be, at a toy show, festival, Renaissance, whatever, London, Chatham. And again, my invitation to you, my friend, to come over and visit is open. You just got to let me know what days work. We'll plan it out on the calendar, and we'll have uh, a coffee and dessert, whatever, visit, and then sit down and just have some fun.
I'm honored, sir. That is so kind of you. You're such a wonderful human being. So I just want to confirm though, Nerds Gaming, that's in Woodstock.
Yes, it's on the main street on Dundas. So they have some of my material there. But the most up to date stuff, they have the early stuff there. The most up to date stuff people can get directly from me. They might have some back issues, which is okay. You might want to go after that. I still have enough back issues, I think, to last maybe for this year. And after that, it's all the new stuff I'm talking about, because the new books are going from book 1 to 23. And then the second run, which will eventually be compiled into thicker books, is books 24 to 58. And then it goes from there, from 59 to 80 something. But this is all over the next 3 years or more. This is time. This is like, because editing, we just basically went through that whole kind of editing thing we were talking about. And we've only managed to get through 3 of them of the rewrites to get ready. So, and it's like, but I'm working on it. I got, hey, you get to be as a piece of antiquity as I am. You got to have something to do, right? So anyway, my friend,
That's
thank
awesome. Thank you so much, Joe, for joining. Everyone, I will add those links, later on for Joe's website, the Tall Tales. Also, try and add a link for where you can get Joe's stuff. Including at Nerds Gaming in Woodstock. So, Joe, thank you so much for joining me. It's been such an honor and a pleasure. It's just been amazing. Oh, and quickly, Shad, wonderful Shad, stopped by. Shad, amazing person. He's probably met Joe because I first met Shad at, I've obviously communicated online, but met him at London Comic Con in person. Shad's an amazing person, a great supporter of creators. Thanks, Shad, for stopping by to support Joe. And, I'm sure Shad stopped by your booth, Joe, in the past. So, but yeah. Thank you so much, Chad.
A lot of people come by the booth and look at stuff and sit down and actually play the game, because I like to teach it, right? So we had a lot of fun that way too. Thank you so much, Paul.
Thank you so much. And you have a wonderful day. Take care, everyone, and thanks for tuning in.
Again, Paul, Deb, thank you very much. Hope to see you guys soon.
Take care. Bye-bye.